Okay, hello and welcome to my first double battle video. Now, you aren't going to be seeing too many of these from me, but I made a deal with Kronar that if I could record a singles game with him and do a narration of that, then I would do the same with a doubles game, despite me not playing doubles normally. But my lack of resources mean my team is half random, half strategy, and it's half random that comes out first. I lead with Narrated and Jolteon against what turned out to be Suicune and Cresselia, and I recognised this from when we tested Outrage, and this proved to be one of his Icy Wind teams. So I just went with as hard-hitting moves as I could on the first go, and Close Combat Suicune and Shadow Ball Cresselia was around about as hard as I could hit them collectively. But it turns out that he switches Suicune in fear of a Thunderbolt, I guess, anyhow, so Close Combat's going to hit Marowak rather than Suicune. But it's all good, because Marowak being hit hard is pretty useful too. Now, Cresselia didn't really take too much from the Shadow Ball, but I couldn't really do too much to it anyway. And Icy Wind does affect me a bit, but it doesn't affect me hugely. Now, I switch out Gallade here, and it turns out he switches Cresselia for Salamence, so the Intimidate happens before I switch, which is pretty useful because it stops my next switch in, Azumarill, from being hit by Intimi anyhow. And Jolteon is still faster than Marowak, and so it can still hit first and kill Marowak off before it can do any damage, which is pretty useful because Marowak doing damage is not what I'd like to see. So he considers what to do for quite a while, and then he brings in Rhyperior, which sort of surprised me when I had Azumarill out. But I was pretty sure that Rhyperior would be faster than Azumarill because it would have a lot of speed EVs. So I went for the Aqua Jet as opposed to Waterfall, and I protected Jolteon in case of Earthquake, but it turns out that it didn't actually do that, and Jolteon would have been better off attacking this turn. And Azumarill gets Dragon Clawed, which does a hell of a lot. That was really annoying. And basically Rock Polish comes in, so I know I have to attack it with Aqua Jet to try and take it out, even if he's going to switch. I think he knows this at this point, so he actually Dragon Claws Jolteon this time, which surprised me because I didn't really think of that. And it KOs Jolteon so that HP Ice doesn't KO Salamence. But it does mean I can bring in Latios, which saved me this whole game. It kicked so much ass. And Draco Meteor is the obvious thing to do, and it just comes in and completely wrecks what's coming up. Again, I switch as Intimidate comes in. That was quite useful. And Scizor comes out because I think Scizor would threaten Cresselia the most. Icy Wind doesn't do that much to Latios apart from cut the speed, and it misses Scizor completely, which is quite cool, but unnecessary. I switch out Latios because it's now slower than Cresselia and not going to do much with -2. Bullet Punch will finish off Gyarados quite nicely. Vaporeon comes in just because Vaporeon's useful, and yeah. In comes Salamence now, and I didn't really think of the fact of Scizor basically had to switch, so it would have made sense to double gang on Vaporeon. Didn't really think of that, so I went for Muddy Water here as I switched to Azumarill so I could attack the Salamence afterwards. And yeah, it turns out that it gets double attacked, and that really hurt. But that just shows my naivety in doubles at the moment, really. I figured Azumarill would survive this Dragon Claw, so I went for an Ice Punch. Turns out that it can't survive it, which is a shame. But at least Protect didn't go completely to waste this time, because Cresselia went for a Psychic on the special defense loss that I had before, which could have been annoying. But again, there's no Icy Wind on Latios at the moment, so it felt free to bring it straight back in. And Draco Meteor, of course, again. He switches out Salamence and goes to Suicune, and I get a crit, which really annoyed him because that one-hit KO when it shouldn't have. But unfortunately, these things happen. Now, he uses Icy Wind here does a fair bit, but I haze this turn, which I thought was really quite a good move actually, because that cleared off both my special attack loss, the speed loss, and the Hack's special defense as well. He brings in Viperia, and I don't know what I was thinking with Muddy Water here, but I went for the Draco Meteor and didn't quite kill Cress, and for some reason I went with Muddy Water when it was fairly obvious that double attacking Vaporeon would have worked. And so that was a bit of a waste. If I'd have protected that turn, it'd have been a bit easier. But I've got two Pokemon left. I've got Gallade and I've got Scizor, and basically Scizzor's Bullet Punch will KO Viperia, and I will go for Ice Punch on Crest just to be completely safe in case Salamence for some reason came in instead of Crest. And it turns out his Crest is timid, so it gets the jump on my Adamant Gallade, and well, it's either that or it's modest with max speed. I think Crest is faster by base, but basically he has Salamence left at the end. He'll KO Gallade, he'll KO one of them, but not both of them, and it turns out his Gallade is the one he kills, and he kills himself thanks to Life Orb, which is quite cool. And really that was it. It's far more aggressive than most games I've played, but that's the way doubles goes. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.